What's up, and welcome to another episode, Master Moats film session. And today we're going to be talking about Ahkello Witherspoon's performance against the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a guy that since joining the team and we've seen his opportunities start to increase, he's really been showing a natural ability to just find the ball, especially in coverage, point of the attack, catch point, stuff like that. I think he has really good ball skills, and I just want to highlight that in a couple of plays really quickly. But as we always do, that's him at the bottom of the screen. I'll play it in full speed, and after that, I will break it down. Alrighty. So first off, it's a lot that I want to talk about with this play in particular, but I will start with the defense, right? The team they're playing, they're in a Tampa 2 defense. Now I'm going to drop what the Tampa 2 is. The biggest difference between your cover 2 versus Tampa 2 is this guy right here. He is your middle runner, okay? So basic cover 2 principles or Tampa 2 principles, these guys have deep halves. All right, I'll make that look a little nicer for you. Bam, that's his half, that's his half, right? Typically this corner right here is a squat corner, meaning that they're going to be really aggressive on the short and underneath stuff. They'll sink if a route is carrying deep, but they don't have vertical carry. We like that in the red zone because the field is obviously condensed, so it can just help out in terms of getting more eyes to some of these outbreaking plays and stuff like that. Now this guy right here and this guy, I believe, yeah, I gotta see, that might be Taco right there, but if that is, either way, vertical hook. Okay, so they're vertical hook droppers right here. Okay, and all vertical hook means you got the guy up and in. All right, up and in on number 2. That's number 2 right there, and then this guy motion over becomes number 2. All right, but to clear it up, this is your middle runner. Okay, he is the different part when you're talking about your Tampa 2 defense versus your traditional regular cover 2. Regular cover 2, this guy in the middle right here, he's not going to be that middle runner. He'll just sit in he'll occupy his zone underneath. But because it is Tampa, that's ultimately why he's your middle runner, and that's the easiest way to identify Tampa 2 versus your regular cover 2. All right, so now that we have that square, offensively they started out in a 4x1 because this guy was over here, now he's motioning over to give you a more balanced set out of the empty formation, right? So it becomes 3x2. All right, so with that being said, we know the defense, we know what the offense is in as well. Now, obviously, at the beginning, we get Cam Hayward, right? Offsides. But what I like is this. In today's NFL, we've learned what? An offsides penalty does not mean that it's a dead play. It does not mean that that play does not count anymore. In fact, offenses have what? They've weaponized the hard count to an extent, right? To get free plays out of it. So even though you get Cam jumping off sides, for everyone else on this down, this is a very much real play, very live action play, and a play that you have to execute and stop. Otherwise, the Chiefs are going to score. So with that being the case, with this being 2-man, okay, so like I said, since it's 2-man, since it's Tampa 2, I'm all over the place right there for a second, but with it being the Tampa 2 concept, we know that Ahkello is going to be matched up with this guy down here, okay, especially since you got empty. All right, empty, red zone, everything is pointing to that man. I'm going to have to be matched up with this guy. So the big part is staying on top of the route, which you see him doing right here, right? Because like I said, in the red zone, man, even though it's a Tampa 2 concept, you can get away with playing it like this, like Ahkello was doing, because the field is condensed. And he didn't have any other work in front of him, right? In terms of stuff breaking out to the flats and things like that. He has no work there, so he can sink and be a playmaker. But what I like is this, eyes, okay? Eyes are back. Okay, on top of the route, which is fine, but he's playing the ball, which is key, because we say at this level you have to be able to play the ball. I still don't know how that ball went through 31's hands. That was nuts though when you watch it. But this is really good body position by Ahkello, right? I want to go right back to the beginning of this thing right here. Eyes are still back, but where's his body at the whole time? We talk about, you don't look back at the quarterback unless You know, if it's like a traditional zone, that's one thing, but right here, he's matching it up, right? It's turned into a little bit of a man concept for him. So that's why you get your body on this receiver. You got to be able to touch this receiver before you can just turn around and look at the ball, because what ends up happening, if you do not stay in phase, that's what we call it defensively, in phase with the receiver, all that's going to happen is you're going to have separation, and then at the end, he's going to have an easier catch. All right, so you want to keep your body on him so you can't get that little bit of separation at the catch point. And he does a good job leaning into him, as we see. And then from there, man, go up and high point that ball. He does just that. 31 is shocked, like, how does he catch that ball? It was nuts. Heck of a play by Ahkello, man. I wish it would have counted. You know, obviously it doesn't count because Cam being offsides and things like that, but this is really good by Ahkello. Staying on top of the route, okay? Eyes back. And he obviously knows he's a running back as well, so you can fudge it a little bit, and that's what he's ultimately doing. But he's being a playmaker, not being a robot. But once again, his ball skills continue to be on display. We saw him obviously have the 2 interceptions against the Vikings. This is another big-time play right here, if it would have counted. But I like what I'm seeing from Ahkello, and he really makes it interesting for himself, especially knowing the potential with Joe Hayden in his contract situation. If he comes back, if he's going elsewhere, however that plays out, Ahkello definitely becomes a key member to this conversation, but it's really good seeing his growth and development right now. All right, now this last play we're going to break down with Ahkello just shows the PBU that he had in the end zone. So another significant play just at this time in the game. Like I said, I'm really enjoying his ball skills, man. Really enjoying watching his game. But as we always do, man, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, if you're enjoying this breakdown, man, make sure you hit the like button, all right? Show a little love to the vid and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so just yet. But as we always do, play it in full speed. And after that, I will break it down. That is Ahkello right there at the bottom of the screen. So let's get it. All righty. So when we first start this thing out, we'll obviously talk about what we're in defensively. Defensively, we're playing a 2-man concept, right? So first play, it was Tampa 2, right? We talked about the middle runner being the biggest difference. Now, when it pertains to your 2-man, okay, half field safety, half field safety. Other than that, he's locked up. This guy should be manned up here. And then this guy should be manned up here, and then Spillane, or excuse me, I'm drawing him to the quarterback, my bad. He should be having this running back guy right here, okay? So everybody underneath is matched up, man to man, okay? Everybody's man to man, but you have 2 high safeties, so you're protected, all right? So for the coverage element of it, if you're one of these man-to-man guys down here, you have a slight trail technique. Typically, you want to be slightly inside with your trail because you know you have your safety help, which is high into the outside, all right? That's typically what your thought process is. And now offensively, we see that they started out in a 3-by-1, okay? But you got what? A cut split on the backside. That tells you some information should be going up. You think what type of routes you could get. Obviously a corner route, but you're thinking more across the field as well just because of where he's at. But you also have who going in motion right here, ladies and gentlemen? Tyreek Hill. As we know with Tyreek Hill, a lot of eyes, a lot of attention going with that guy, okay? So it is in a 2-by-2 set. But like we said with Ahkello, he's playing off coverage right here, right? And what does he do? You see the subtle, but I like the technique right here. Okay, I'm gonna rewind it, just showing the details of his approach. Remember what I said in 2-man, you want to be slight trail in inside position. So he casually does what? Steps inside and defines his leverage, and that makes this receiver have to take an outside release. It makes him, in terms of Ahkello, have that natural inside body position, and he's already in a slight trail just based on him allowing the receiver to come out of here right here. But this is nice right here. This is the technique you want. Now, the difference is this. Typically, when I said in 2-man, this safety is more over here. This safety is over here. So you have your slight trail, you're protected. But this is a little different. Minka is obviously reading Mahomes' eyes, but he sees you got action here. And when he saw, obviously, Tyreek Hill flashing over here, he wanted to come over here because that's typically where your action will be at. But what that does is put Ahkello, instead of being 2-man, you're just man-to-man now. You don't have any help over top. So with that being said, let's see how Ahkello responds. Stays with his body position, his leverage. Now this is separation here, and that's why Mahomes goes there. But what I like is this. Ahkello doesn't turn around. Why doesn't he turn around? Because his body was never in phase. He waits. He waits until he gets close enough and plays through the hands. So as we say, man, as a DB or as a guy in coverage, you could do this two ways. If you're in phase and your body is touching the guy that you're covering, well then, hey, you could turn around, get your head around like we saw from Ahkello in that first clip. But in this one, because there's separation, because he's not in phase, you don't have that luxury of being able to turn your head around. And Ahkello understands that. So the alternative is you got to play through the hands. So as you see this receiver putting his hands up, Ahkello never turns his head around, but as he closes the distance, he shoots his hands through the receiver's hands once the receiver shows that, you know, he's putting his hands up for the ball, because that's the thing. When the receiver eyes get big and their hands start to go up, hey, as a defender, shoot your hands. That's when the ball is coming. But I really like his patience on this route, double move. And then from there, don't panic, don't get a PI. No, just play through it. And then big boy walk and flex on. Like I said, I'm still getting used to it because the score in the game at the time, but I definitely am liking what I'm seeing from him. Just his understanding of the defense, the assignments, and his confidence. But already has a defined leverage inside slightly, right? Then he defines it even more, opens the gate a little bit, slight trail, and now from there, let the receiver lead you. Now you would like to have your safety over top, but hey, it happens. All right, go be a playmaker. Because at the end of the day, if this guy would have caught that pass, could you have really made a case that, yeah, your safety should have been over top? Sure, but he wasn't. People don't care. They want to see you make that play. And that's ultimately what Ahkello did right here. Really good work by him. Like I said, man, I'm really enjoying his play, man. Since he's come here, he's definitely been making some nice plays of lately. And hopefully he will continue that with his opportunity as well. But either way, let me know how you feel about Ahkello, man. If you're enjoying what you're seeing from him and his play this season thus far. Either way, shout out to you for tuning in. And until next time, baby, peace.